We like to think we outgrew superstition. We don't burn women as witches when the harvest fails. We don't read the future in the liver of a sheep. We ask for evidence first. We don't just believe a thing because we were told to. There's one exception. One belief so deep that most people can't see it as a belief at all. You were handed it before you were old enough to question it, and taught, quietly, never to question it later. It's the belief in authority, and it may be the most dangerous superstition we have left. Let me be precise, because the word gets thrown around as an insult, and I don't mean it that way. Statism isn't liking roads or wanting a fire department. It's a specific belief that one group of people, the ones we call government, hold a moral right the rest of us don't have, the right to rule, and that we owe them a duty we owe no one else, the duty to obey. Michael Huemer splits it cleanly in two. Legitimacy, their right to give the order. Obligation, your duty to follow it. Together, that's authority. Feel the difference between authority and plain power. A mugger has power. He points a gun and you hand over your wallet. But you don't think he had the right to, or that you had a duty to obey. Authority is what we add on top of the gun. The belief that when this particular person points it, obeying isn't just safer. It's right. That belief is the whole superstition. Larken Rose gave it its name. Before I lay a finger on it, I'll give the belief its due. There is a serious case for it. Here's the strongest version I can build. Humans are not angels. Put a few million of them on one patch of land with no final referee, and every dispute has nowhere to go but force. Disputes become feuds. Feuds become private war with no end because there's no one everyone has agreed to obey. Thomas Hobbes gave that its famous line almost 400 years ago. Without a common power to hold us in awe, life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. So we agree to believe in something above us, a referee whose calls are final. And here's the uncomfortable part. The belief works. It works the way money works. $1 isn't valuable because of the paper. It's valuable because we all agree to treat it that way. And that shared belief lets millions of strangers cooperate. We agree some people's orders are binding, and we get courts instead of duels, traffic instead of chaos. That is not a stupid idea. It may be one of the most useful beliefs our species ever had. Any honest person starts there. But look at what the useful belief lets through. Take one act and change only who does it. If I knock on your door, tell you a share of your paycheck is mine, and send men to cage you when you refuse, you have a word for me. Extortion. If I grab a teenager off the street and ship him overseas to fight, that's kidnapping. Run those same acts through people in the right costume, and they become taxation and the draft. Huemer's challenge is simple. Name the moral ingredient that changes when the costume goes on, not the legal difference, the moral one. Look for it, and there is nothing there but the belief itself. The authority is doing all the work. Take it away, and you're left with the raw act, the thing you'd never accept from a neighbor. So, where does a belief that strong come from? Because you weren't born with it. Almost 500 years ago, a young Frenchman named Étienne de La Boétie asked a question no one has answered well since. How does one man rule a million? He can't overpower them. They outnumber him hopelessly. So why do they obey? His answer: they were raised to. Custom, he said, is the first reason people serve. You're handed it by parents who were handed it, until the way things are simply feels like the way things must be. And he saw the unsettling part. The tyrant's real power was never his soldiers. It's that the people had agreed, out of habit, to carry him. Stop carrying him, and he falls. Larken Rose makes the modern version. The belief is installed in childhood, before you can weigh it. Obey the teacher. Obey the officer. because they're in charge. You learn it as a reflex, years before anyone offers you a reason, and most people never get one. And this isn't fringe. David Hume argued it. Mia Azuz argued it last century. No government, however armed, rests on force in the end. It rests on opinion, the belief of the governed that they ought to obey. Even the guns are held by people who believe. Here's what I owe you. The part videos like this skip. Showing you that the belief is a belief does not hand you a replacement. Knock out authority and you have not built a single court or road or defense against an invasion. The Hobbes fear I opened with, that without a shared referee you get warlords, is real, and it is exactly what someone in my position has to answer. One video doesn't. Even Huemer, who argues authority is an illusion, spends the whole second half of his book on whether a society could actually run without it, because tearing down the belief is not the same as building what replaces it. I won't pretend the hard part is done. I've shown you a hole in the floor. I haven't built you a new house. So here's the claim, and nothing more. Not that order is impossible, not that you should obey no one. Only this, that authority, the moral right of some to rule, and everyone else's duty to obey, is a belief, not a fact. It's the one belief we were trained never to put on trial. Put it on trial, and it doesn't show up. What's left isn't chaos, and it isn't magic. It's just people, some armed, some well-meaning, some genuinely worth listening to, giving orders. But not owed your obedience by something woven into a job title. That's where I've landed. Authority is a superstition, and I think it's the most dangerous one, because it's the only one that can tax you, cage you, and march you to war while you thank it for the service. But I built the strongest case against myself that I honestly could, and I told you the part I still can't answer. So if I'm wrong, I want to know where. People have tried to name the missing ingredient, your consent, the vote, the sheer good the state does. I've weighed those, and I don't think they carry the weight. But I'd rather be shown than sit here agreeing with myself. So show me the ingredient, not the power, the right. The thing a threat picks up the moment it puts on a uniform. Show me the line where obedience stops being a choice and becomes a duty. Point to it, and I'll change my mind. I mean that. I'd genuinely like to hear it. I'm Anarcho Voice.